All right, the next thing that I tried out was I went over to Culver City, which is about 40 minutes away from here, but now that there's no traffic almost ever, it only took me like 25 minutes to get there. There's this place called Neuroforce Golf, and there they have a couple different TrackMan systems there. And I had heard recently that TrackMan came out with this thing called TrackMan AI, so they call it Tracy is the name of the AI. So like the iPhone has Siri, but this is like Tracy. Basically what you do with this is you hit a grouping of shots, like a group of shots, and then it calculates what's going on with your shots, and then it gives you a task to do, saying like, okay, this is the #1 thing that you need to work on. It's got to be like, let's say, swing direction or dynamic lofted impact or face angle and impact. And then it gives you a parameter that you try to fit inside of. And then you hit the next grouping of shots and you do this focus practice, which I really like because a lot of times when you're practicing, especially on something like really intense that spits out a ton of numbers like a TrackMan, it can give you so many different numbers. You can be like, God, there's so much wrong with my swing. What should I work on? This AI system says like, okay, we want you to concentrate on spin loft through impact. And this is Alex Galvin, and this is his place here. And Alex, tell us a little bit about, just in general, what you do at Neuroforce Golf. I know you teach lessons and you do some research stuff as well.
Right. Well, primarily we give lessons, and we do club fittings, and we have new club sales. We also have swing catalysts along with 2 TrackMans in 2 different bays.
So we have the TrackMan set up here.
Correct.
And what is TrackMan AI?
Well, it's the artificial intelligence, and it looks more precisely into you know, something that's lacking in with one of the parameters. So in this case here, I was hitting my wedges, and I tend to pick my wedges in here, and so the drop-down window suggested that we work on spin loft.
Okay, so one of the things when we were talking so much about lag tension on the channel or toe, whether you're towing the club or not, or whether the club head is past your hands at impact, this number that really shows whether you have it or not is how much spin loft you have, I've found anyway. And I was just asking Alex, what is spin loft? And he's got a great explanation of how he does it and explains it in a general way. But let's get the TrackMan approved definition of spin loft here.
So the first line is that spin loft is approximately the angle between the dynamic loft and the angle of attack. And then when you tell folks that, they're not going to know what you're talking about.
Right.
That right there is enough to make your head spin.
Right. But we can kind of see it in the blue. So the blue line is where the angle that the club was coming in, the entire club. And then the red line is where the face was pointing.
Right. So if you have a player that's hitting down, let's say somebody's hitting, that's at angle of attack is pretty steep, and they're hitting down, let's say, especially on their wedges, their short irons, that can drive the spin loft. So sometimes, you know, changing the ball position will change the angle of attack, will change the spin loft.
Okay guys, let's see TrackMan AI in action. So I got a 7 iron. I'm going to see what it says. What I like about it too is it's not going to tell you anything to do body-wise or instruction-wise. It's just going to say like, hey, you're doing this, try to hit it differently. You figure out how to do it.
To register with the pitching.
No, it's better.
And it's asking for 1 more strike.
Okay.
You got a club head speed, 90 miles an hour. That's the tour average, 90 miles an hour with a 7 iron. Yeah, that was good. Okay. We got.
All right, we got a verdict here, folks. Let's see what. So they're calling this AI Tracy, is that right?
Correct.
So let's see what Tracy, the AI system, says.
So
this is a cool little wheel. So what does this wheel here mean?
So the first one is trajectory. So there's 2 benchmarks, if you will, an 18 handicapper and a golf professional. So trajectory-wise, you're right up there with the pros. And then like the rest of us, we all need work on precision.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go to the insights for just a second. It gives us another box here. So it will give you your carry and your total, your actual, and then it'll give you your optimal in the blue. You know, it looks like you're a high trajectory player, and it looks like you draw the ball.
Right.
Okay, so we'll go to improve, and it's swing direction.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right.
If you want, we can go to spin lock.
No, let's do swing direction. That's cool. Because obviously, like I was telling Alex, like my big miss in like Hank Haney says, is pulls, and we can see that here. So what will it, if we do start focus practice there, Alex? What will it have me do?
Well, it's gonna. We can click on the box, and then it's gonna have you hit some shots, and it has just swing direction.
Okay, so, and then so it wants me in this range here between
Correct.
0 and 4. Those ones, swing direction of those shots that it captured was anything from -2 to minus almost 5.5.
Yeah.
So that means I was swinging right to left quite a bit. Only one of them was in the actual range that it wants me to be. All right, so it wants to see some shots where really, in this focus practice, we're just going to be focused on swing direction, and if I get it in this range, it's going to turn blue.
Correct.
Got it, okay.
So just go ahead and set up to it, take your regular 7-iron shot, and then we'll see what your swing direction's like.
Yeah, when I can think about it, when I'm actually thinking about it. Okay, I'm outside of the zone there. As a coach, how would you analyze this as far as like, okay, that was a straight shot.
Yeah,
but I didn't do what TrackMan wanted me to do.
That's correct. So I would go to this box down here and I'd take a look at the shot overall. So I'd see that you hit it 166, and you hit it to the right of the flagstick by 5 feet. I mean, that's a pretty nice shot, and your smash is pretty good. So it's saying that your swing direction is a little bit to the left. So what I would do, I would move the ball back. Maybe, let's start moving the ball back, maybe half a ball back in your stance.
Okay.
And let's see if that changes your swing direction.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one was minus 3.3 swing direction, and now you're at minus 2.6. Yeah, so let's put it back maybe about a ball's width back in your stance, and let's see if this changes your swing direction a touch.
I mean, I can't hit a ball more solid than that.
There you go.
Oh, I'm in the zone, a blue one.
And that was a great shot. And I thought this was a really compelling argument for the TrackMan AI system, because usually in teaching, a coach will have you change, let's say, your hand path to get a better path through the ball. But here, my intention, watch the hand path at the top. So that's before, so that's a little over. So my hand path was a little over, so my path at the bottom went a little left. Here, all I was desperately thinking about doing was getting the path to the right, and watch the hand path here. Much better. And also it resulted in a higher smash factor and a lot of other things. So it's a little bit different learning. Normally you're learning positions and like A comes before B, but here you're really learning as the intention being the thing that directs you, and getting all the other stuff will just kind of happen. It was really interesting. Let's go on.
And I'm assuming that was a pretty good strike.
I mean, it felt great. Let's look at the numbers of that one. It felt really good.
Yeah.
Will this knock us out of our...
No. I'm just going to go over here and look at the tiles. So you hit that one 178, you hit it 103 feet in the air.
So that's exactly in what they had said was optimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And your smash was at 140.
Which is, that's crazy for me for a 9.
Yeah. No, 140, 1.40 with this, with a 7-iron is a really solid strike. And all you did was just move the ball back just a touch, because if you move the ball, try moving the ball a little bit more forward than you normally have it.
Yeah, this
and
is
let's
like
see.
a 3-wood ball position.
Yeah, and you'll see that your swing direction is going to be well to the left. Well, that one you put right on the money.
Yeah, I'm just outside the zone.
They're just outside, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I was thinking, like, when I heard like AI, it's like, oh, like eliminating the coach, but it almost makes the coach more important, because it's like, okay, you guys are really focused on a small little issue, and then you can knock that out between, like, you know, trying different things.
Right, so what we've seen so far with the artificial intelligence, mostly we see face angle assessments. We're seeing, you know, focus practice on the face angle. So a lot of times it can be ball position, it can be the way they stand, the stance, it can be how they're clearing out.
I like having that AI technology in there, and I think they could go even further than that. I know that TrackMan they don't want to give any suggestions as far as like what you should do. Like, they don't want to say like, hey, do this with your body, or that with your body, or this with your arms, or this with your stance, or you might want to experiment with this or that, because coaches use TrackMan and they don't want to do anything that will contradict something that a coach is saying. So they're not going to put like tips in there for you or anything like that. But I think, you know, with a lot of this stuff, that's why I think like PGA Tour players, even in like the last 5 years or so, are just getting so good at golf now. I mean, they're becoming good on another level, and because they're just integrating this technology in the way that they're getting better. So the TrackMan AI was super cool. So here you have one thing that's free, and then they want you to pay a subscription, you know, if you want to keep the app. And then you have another thing that is like, I don't know, what is TrackMan? $25,000 or more. So they have these two different, you know, things at different ends of the spectrum. The main thing is that you got it when you're learning golf. The main thing I've discovered in the channel is whatever you learn, even if you're going to the best coach in the world, or you're learning from, you know, household items that you've made into a training aid, whatever you're doing, you have to learn it yourself. This is a game that any changes that you make are always going to come from you. Maybe people can kind of give you breadcrumbs, or like AI or technology or things like that can give you breadcrumbs that could help you lead you down a way you might not thought of. Like, but when the rubber meets the road and it really comes time to making a change, to getting better, it's got to be you that does it. It's got to be you that decides to take the time to practice more, to play more, to cut things out of your life that are getting in the way of your golf, or other things like that. These are the things that you got to do to get better. And if there's a swing change or something that you've never been able to get over, if you're ever going to get it over, it's going to be because of the personal effort and that you put into it, and also like the smarts that you use, because golf problems are not just something that you're going to get over by brute force or by mountains and mountains of golf balls, because you could very easily, when you have a golf problem, you're trying to get over something, you could very easily either just further ingrain bad habits, or you could start brand new bad habits. So you got to be real particular and smart about how you attack getting better at golf. The main thing is, and this is getting beyond AI, but the main thing that I've seen is you got to practice with a lot of different kinds of feedback, and there's no substitute to getting out there and playing a lot and changing your environment a lot. Like, I think that's when changing your environment, what I mean by that is that they've seen that people learn things better the more the environment changes around them, which is one of the reasons I think that guys on tour, you know, they stay on tour and they keep getting better. Every week they're changing their environment, they're going to a different place, and they're trying to do the same thing, which is shoot their lowest possible score, but they have wildly different things all the time. I think if you stay and you're always practicing at the same place and playing at the same course, it's very difficult to get away from just the locked-in habits that you always do. You really got to make yourself uncomfortable and do things that are kind of like confused, and then force some change into your game. All right, thanks to Alex from North Force Golf. Go see them. They got a Force Catalyst plate there as well, which is really cool. So really cool stuff coming up in the channel. I'm going to be, speaking of Swing Catalyst, I'm going to be going out to Arizona to see Milo Lyons at Superstition Mountain Golf Club, and bringing Scott from Swing Catalyst with me out to Milo, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff about driver, about ground forces, and getting better and getting faster, but really I want to concentrate on getting a better smash factor and hitting it more consistently using the swing catalyst plate, and how using the ground in the right way and changing kind of the rhythm of how you use the ground can really get people to hit their driver a lot more consistently. Sometimes people send me their swings, which you can do. Like I'll put up a link if you ever want to send me your swings. Sometimes people send me their swings, and almost like 80 to 85% of the time I end up sending people this same drill. It's called the Mike Bender gap away drill, where I can see that almost so many people with their hips are going this way in the backswing and then trying to hit it, and almost everybody needs this Mike Bender gap away drill. And that's something that that's something you can do with a $1 pool noodle. But with the swing catalyst plate, if you really want to learn how to torque the ground in a super efficient way, I mean, there's not really a replacement for it. You can do it with force pedals, and you can do it with, you know, wet rags like I did in the Bryson DeChambeau video. But I just don't see a way that you could really get insight into what exactly you're doing and train with it unless you had this plate. So it's really there was a pro golfer, Rory He from the Asian Tour, who I talk to sometimes. He won last year. He was telling me like how did you do this or that? And I was like, man, that swing catalyst plate is just, I mean, you gotta find a way to get on it. But not only do you have to get on it, but you have to get on it where somebody really understands the graphs and the software, because it's going to put out a lot of lines and crazy numbers to you. But if you know what they are and somebody can interpret them for you, you can really get some good insight into your swing. So that's going to be coming up on the channel. Looking forward to that. So you're going to want to be subscribed for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.